this video, I'm going to show you how to check your fuel pump, whether it's bad or good, or any kind of fuel pump, except for the mechanical fuel pumps. Now, the mechanical fuel pumps is the ones that is not electrical. It's just mechanical. But this is the way to test. It's a good way to test your electrical fuel pump. Now, first thing you're going to need, of course, is your AL539. Now, this one's an AL539B, but you can use the regular AL539. Also, what you're going to need is some fuse eliminators. These go into place where the fuses are. There's going to be 3 different sizes. Look them up on Amazon or wherever you shop at. You're going to need those. The next thing you're going to need is get you some adapters, some wire to go on it, or you can use your test leads coming from your AL539B. You get some different test leads, one with alligator clips on them. They'd work just as well. So the first thing you want to do is find your fuse to the fuel pump. You might have to look up a wiring diagram, go online, search for it. You got to find the fuse that powers the fuel pump, or it might power the relay and then power the fuel pump. This one right here happens to be this fuse right here, 20 amp. So what I'm gonna do is take that out. Now if I take that out and start this car up, it's going to run for a few seconds and shut right back off until the fuel runs out, and then it's not going to start no more. So that's why you need the fuse bypass. Let's call it a fuse bypass. So you figure out which one you need, and I know I need the small one. You're going to put it in the place of the fuse. Now still it's an open circuit right here, so it's still not going to start. You still need to close that circuit. So that's why you use your connectors. And you hook up one on each one. Now, this is the important part right here. Your AL539. You want to cut it on. You see that pretty good? All right. Now, what you want to do is go down to forget that first. What you want to do, hook up your test leads. The black one goes to ground, which is common. Now, your next one, usually you're going to be hooking it up. Usually you're going to be hooking it up to this one, but what you're going to do is go over here to this 20 amp right here, max right here. There's a fuse inside there, and this actually is going to serve now as a fuse. So let's hook this is hooked up first. Take one lead. Now it's a good idea to you really don't have to worry about that, but take this out, put the key on, and find out which one of those pins are going to be hot. That's where the power is coming through, and then you're going around. So that's when you want to hook up the positive one, but you really don't have to worry about that. Just get some. Now again, the alligator clips would have been great, because that's all you do is just clip it right on. But being that we don't have that, I'm just going to wrap this wire up around here, and then take the ground and wrap it up around here. Okay. Make sure they're tight. Make sure they don't touch. All right, now go to your AL539B. You want to go down to the multimeter. Now what you want to do is go down to the 20 amp scale. Right there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, no, I'm not there. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is put the key on. There's going to be a red line. Either it's going to be above that 0 or after that 0. I'm trying to... What? Okay, what is it?
After.
Above it?
After. Below it.
Below it. So now I know, because I got it that way, I know my...
It went out though. Was it supposed to?
It was below?
Yeah.
All right, so what I got to do is I got my polarity switched. So now either I can just do it from here, doesn't matter. Switch it like that. That's because the fuel pump cut out probably. Go that way. And now what I'm going to do is start the truck up. Okay, let me go right here. Yeah. Now, guys, this is how you're going to tell. Now, a good fuel pump draws anywhere between 2 and 4 amps. I can tell right now this is drawing close to 6 amps, which means I know there's a heavy strain on this fuel pump. It doesn't mean the fuel pump is bad. It could mean it's just have a clogged fuel filter. Any kind of clog in the system, kink line or anything, will cause those amperage to go up. Now, you also want to pay attention to your max and your minimum amp draw. Now, if you notice, they're close to the same. They should not be close to the same. How can the best way I can explain this is by after we do this, it's similar to a heart. I'm about to show you that on a piece of paper. Now, you also want to notice the humps right there. How it goes up and down. Now, it should be a nice smooth waveform, hills up and down, up and down. If you look at that very closely, you can tell that it's not. Half of them is chopped off. That means there is a draw on this fuel pump. Now, the customer's complaint on this is that after he drives it a while, the car loses power, shuts off, then it will not start for another 3 or 4 hours. So something is shutting down. Also with that is that the check engine light is on. Now, the check engine light is on for a P0171 and a P0174. That's system tooling bank 1 and bank 2. I'm going to explain that as well on the cardboard, on the board. Yeah, the whiteboard. That's what it is. All right. So this is telling me that I have an issue with that pump. Again, now it could be a clogged fuel filter. I would say a clogged fuel filter or something if the vehicle did not shut off, but the vehicle does shut off and does cool down. The fuel filter is not going to do that. Now, the fuel filter could be causing the problem with the pump, but we're going to change that anyway. But as you can see, we have a bad pump here. Now, let me explain to you on the whiteboard how this all plays out. Guys, now what I'm going to do is simplify this for you. Now, first of all, let's start off with our waveform pattern on the fuel pump. Now, first of all, that's how it's supposed to look. Nice, smooth hills. Ours was choppy on some points. Now, what we saw on the minimum and maximum amp draw was up here we had like 5.6 and down here we had like 5.1 on the low side. Now, what does that mean and how does that help you diagnose this car? Just like I said, this is similar to a heart. Now, I'm going to draw a heart. Well, you know what? I'm going to draw a heart.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to draw a heart like that. It's easier to draw a heart like that. Now, a lot of you guys and girls can relate to this. Let's say your blood pressure is 120 over 70, which is good numbers. Now, what does that mean? That means when your heart has 2 stages. One is pumping, and then the other one is at relaxed stage. So you have a blood vessel here. So when that heart pumps blood through there, that pressure is 120. When it's not pumping, like just like a heart go boom 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 boom. At this stage right here is called relaxed stage. So the pressure in that vessel is at 70. Take that and you will always diagnose a car with the fuel pump the same way. Let's go up here to our waveform pattern. The top hills is when that fuel pump is pushing gas. It's taking a lot of draw, so it's taking a lot of pressure to push that fuel out. So this one rates it as amps. So you have 5.6. On your low side, when it's not pumping, this one's at 5.1. That's the same thing as if this was 120 when it's pumping, and let's say 115 when it's not. If you got something that, if your low side is 115, you got a problem. That means that's the same thing what's going on with this pump. Now, a good pump would rate about 3.4, and low side would rate about 1 or maybe 2 amps at its low stage. So I can tell right now, just from the numbers, this pump is constantly working. And what happens after a while? After a while, it's constantly working. It gives out, just like the heart. Same thing. It's going to give out, shut down, shut your body down, or shut the vehicle off. The thing with this one, the good part about this one is, on this pump, once it shuts down, it cools down and starts back up. That one, you just done. You got one shot at it, one thing. So you better take care of yourself. So that's a good explanation of how to read this the waveform pattern on a fuel pump. Have any questions on that?
Nope.
Sounds pretty excellent. Everything good?
Yep.
All right, so there you go, guys. That's how you diagnose a fuel pump, an electrical fuel pump, using the Autel AL539B, along with the fuse bypass adapters and some wire. Take care.